The Woman in the Mirror. In a quiet suburban neighborhood, there was a house at the end of Maple Street that had been vacant for years. The locals called it the Miller House. They said that old Mrs. Miller had gone mad and vanished one night, leaving behind an empty home and a trail of unsettling tales. One evening, out of curiosity and boredom, 14-year-old Lucy and her friends Sam and Jake decided to explore the house. They waited until twilight, when the shadows grew long and the air was thick with the promise of adventure. Armed with flashlights and a sense of invincibility, they sneaked past the overgrown garden and crept through the front door, which surprisingly opened with ease. Inside, the house was a time capsule. Dust covered the furniture, and cobwebs draped the corners like curtains. The air was stale, carrying a faint, acrid odor that made their noses wrinkle. They giggled nervously as they explored the first floor, finding nothing but old furniture and dusty books. "Let's check upstairs," Lucy suggested, her voice barely above a whisper. The staircase groaned under their weight, each step a reluctant concession. At the top, they found a long hallway lined with closed doors. A chill seemed to emanate from the walls, and their breath came out in frosty puffs. They tried the doors one by one, finding only empty bedrooms and a bathroom with a cracked mirror. At the end of the hall was a door that was different from the others. It was heavier, with strange symbols carved into the wood. Jake, the most daring of the group, reached for the doorknob. "Wait," Lucy said, her heart pounding. "Maybe we shouldn't." But Jake had already turned the knob and pushed the door open. Inside was a small room, empty except for an old rocking chair that faced a large, ornate mirror on the far wall. The mirror's glass was cloudy, its frame intricately carved with faces twisted in silent screams. Sam shivered. "This place gives me the creeps." Ignoring his friends, Jake approached the mirror. "Look at this," he said, wiping at the glass. As his hand moved, the fog seemed to lift, revealing a clear reflection of the room. But there was something wrong with the reflection. In it, the rocking chair was occupied by an old woman with wild, white hair and eyes that seemed to pierce through the glass. "Guys," Jake whispered, backing away. "Do you see that?" Lucy and Sam looked into the mirror and saw the woman too. She stared at them, unmoving, her mouth slowly curling into a sinister smile. Lucy felt a chill run down her spine. "Let's get out of here." They turned to leave, but the door slammed shut, trapping them inside. The temperature plummeted, and the air grew heavy with the scent of decay. The woman in the mirror stood up, her movements slow and deliberate. She stepped out of the mirror as if it were a doorway, her feet making no sound on the floor. "Who dares enter my house?" she hissed, her voice like the rustling of dead leaves. The kids huddled together, too terrified to speak. The woman moved closer, her eyes burning with an otherworldly light. "You should not have come here," she said, raising a bony hand. The room spun, and the walls seemed to close in. The last thing Lucy saw before darkness claimed her was the woman's twisted smile. Lucy awoke to the sound of birds chirping. She was lying on the lawn outside the house, her friends beside her, still unconscious. She shook them awake, and they scrambled to their feet, hearts racing. "What happened?" Jake asked, his voice shaky. "I don't know," Lucy said, looking back at the house. The front door was closed, the windows dark and empty. "But we need to leave. Now." They ran back to their homes, vowing never to speak of that night again. The Miller house stood silent, its secrets locked away behind its doors. And though they never returned, they couldn't shake the feeling that the woman in the mirror was still watching, waiting for her next visitors.